you're constantly doing something opposed to just sitting there waiting for the wrapper to wrap. The wrapping process is really, really quick. It's how long it takes you to shuffle bales around that takes the time on that. But doesn't work for clover, and we are a clover farm where it comes to grasses. And of course, it's an early DLC for FS19, so Giants will not let you mod that equipment. You can only touch base game or mods, but any new style of equipment, so the fast balers, there's no mod fast balers because that's introduced programming logic new for Farm Sim whatever we're on, 19. Now Farm Sim 22 we should have fast balers as part of base game technology, so we will see more or different manufacturer labelled fast balers, so we might see a John Deere, a Case, rather than just the Kverneland Vicon that we have today. I would love to see a fast baler that does not have a wrapper on the back. But we're also getting the tiny bales, tiny square bales. That'll be nice because that'll make baling cheaper. It's one of my gripes with starting from scratch on a small farm. It's very, very difficult to afford a baling setup. Even just straight round bales. Well, even just going with round bales, that's a sizable amount of money. Even forage wagons are expensive as well. But I've frequently made the mistake on a start from scratch. I've got to the end of the first year and I've got my my harvester producing straw swaths, and I'll go and spend 36,000 on a small round baler because playing seasons you can't sell loose material, and I never make that money back. I might make 8,000 income from the bales. And it's sort of, why did I bother buying even a cheap round baler when it's not going to return the money. So you want to get the most out of your field that you can. So I'll produce straw because I can sell it and it's more income for the farm. But if you don't have a baler and you're playing with seasons, then you're not going to make that money back. And you just done messed up. Now obviously with Giants seasons, that's probably not going to be a restriction. We're going to be able to sell loose material playing with seasons in Farm Sim 22. So that will be a thing. Or that won't be a concern, should I say, that we've had with 17 and 19 when playing with seasons. Must be close to the end here. Let's put cruise control on and take a look. 95%. Possibly the end of this pass. Maybe a tiny little bit more. Yeah, I'm gonna have to run back. Well, never mind. And we have capacity for 1,200 litres of fertiliser in the tanks. What I'm not sure about is... oh, there we go, we're done. Do we have that in the IBC that's still at the store? So that is our fertilisation done for today. I suppose I could get paid for that. Yay, money. 169,000. Well, actually, I'm happy with the amount of money we have at the moment. That's a good thing. Fill up the tank. I'll take a look, see what contracts are out there. It's 2:30, there's still enough time to do one more, at least. I could possibly do the math and figure out how much is in that tank at the store. But actually, it's less than an hour. Oh, there you go. Less than an hour till that silage is ready. Maybe we do something about that. Get a little bit more income before the end of today. That'll involve bringing the JCB down with us. Press a button. Any button. So we got less than 2,000 litres. That'll make an IPC back at the farm. I'm happy with that amount. So less than an hour. Round about 3:30 will be the time to sell that silage. So we'll do that. Also reminds me we've got some silage in the bunker at the farm. Might want to check on that too. But it's not fertilisation, so I'm good with doing that. Though we don't get paid for it. Well, we don't get a contract completion for it. It's the leftover silage from the contract that we did, obviously, 3 days ago. Oh, yeah. So, of course, the way that the fertilisation IBCs work, we will generate two, because we've got 1,100 in the front tank, 837 in the rear tank, and that will generate two separate IBCs. So what I'm going to do is we will put the front tank in our fertiliser shelter, and then refill the tank from the partial IBC, the 800 litre IBC, and then empty it into the one we put away. You'll see what I mean in a minute. Consolidating consumable storage where we can. So here we are back at the farm. And as I said, we'll grab the JCB when we put this one away and go back to the BGA and sell all those silage bales. And there is an IBC. Jump out on top of it, why not? And we are going to need super strength again. So we push this over here. And that's fine. We'll attach the hose to it. I'm guessing maybe the rear tank did not empty. That's nice. Okay. So jump out of the cab and get this reversed over there. What am I selected on? I'm selected on the front tank. Switch to the rear. Pitch up the hose. Go. Jump back in the tractor, and again I'm going to have the help on. Change pump direction to empty. And it looks like the hose came disconnected. There we go. Jump back in the tractor, and it's still connected. We are emptying. Turn on the pump and it all goes into one IBC. Yay! Now I think as soon as something empties, the pump automatically turns off. Or not. So turn that off, change the pump direction back to filling, and we can jump out and disconnect the hose pipe. Somehow. There we go. Okay. And I disconnect it from the other end because otherwise it has the potential to glitch out. So now that's empty. I can go and clean this. We can turn the help text off. And then we can put a little Valtra G away for probably the entirety of winter. So we'll make it all sparkly and new, and shiny. Mostly. And I don't usually dismount the spray tanks from this, except when we have potato and soybean harvests to perform. So this tractor does the topping. Small job you don't need a big tractor for, so I really don't have a lot of small farm jobs to do. Spraying and topping are pretty much our limit. So let's pop this into there. And engine get out. Do I still have the front loader? That's the telehandler. Spike. What's that? That's the front loader fork, pallet fork. So the JCB probably still has, Yes, it does. Spiky bits on the front. So we will take this down to the BGA and do things with it. Change view when I should be turning. That's always awesome. Kind of wondering if this would look better with wider tyres on it, because it kind of funny. I'm fairly certain those aren't narrows, but they make you think they are. Let's say it that way. So nearly 330. Those bales should be good now. And that will give us maybe 20,000 income for the end of the day. Racing tractor, yeah, go. So these tractors are far more common in Europe, where a lot of farmers will do almost all of their carting with a tractor and tipper rather than a grain truck. Very rarely used in the US, where the majority of grain transit is done with a semi-truck. Okay, I'm gonna see. Oh, we can stab them and it should tell me, I think. Turn around. 2, 4, 6, 8, yeah, so 10 bales, not going to take a significant amount of time, and that says grass silage, so they are ready to feed. We get paid tonight at midnight. Bloop. So once we're done with the silage sales, that is everything until grain prices peak. I'm okay with that. And that might mean that we skip a couple of days. Or not. I don't know. I'll get these done and we'll make some plans, I think. Still difficult to do depth of field perception. But, that was reasonably okay. So 10 times 4,000, 40,000, that's way less than the digester will eat. Ooh, that was a mistake. Oh. going to take an extra trip to do it. Oops. And stab. Okay. Turn it that way and then we'll go forwards to clear the building. Last two. And since I have forks on this, I may do the sheep feeding with this rather than the telehandler. Oh! Don't hit the brick hut. Nearly did it again. And that's four-wheel steering. The front end will swing out when you're in reverse. Done. Okay, so the plans are. Oh, he's out of grass. That's bad. What am I looking for? So, day 2 winter, it's going to be snowing. But more importantly, prices. Day 3 winter, so 2, 3 midwinter. We've actually got sugar beets. Ugh, their prices dropped today. But best prices mid-spring, midwinter. Potatoes are the same. Carrots, onions with chips, spelt. No, triticale. So triticale is end of early winter. What else do we have? Straw. Hay. Oh, there's nowhere to sell. That's interesting. Nowhere to sell clover. And sell silage. Fresh maize. Why no prices? Oh, fresh maize has no sale value, and that's a predicted value, and because we haven't hit this day, it hasn't said. I don't know what you're going to sell it for, and potentially where you're going to sell it, and I think that might be the issue of why there's no price there. Let's have a look. Horse hay. Silage grass, silage clover. See, it does say that you can sell clover silage, not for much money though. Silage alfalfa, but you go fresh maize. Oh, you can sell it at the biogas plant. Biogas plant doesn't register as a sell point on the predictor, so that's why you can't see. If there was silage, fresh maize sales elsewhere, that would be a different thing. With straw pellets, there are prices at various places. Sawmill will take miscanthus, triticale, Empire Stores, Hilltop Stores, Willowbrook Stores. So there's prices here that are appearing on this predictor, which is why there is triticale sales. But because there's nowhere outside of the BGA to sell, what was it, the fresh maize. Where did that go? Wherever fresh maize was. Fresh maize. That's why this price is zeroing out. It should be worth about 35, but nowhere will take it except the BGA. So what was the other thing I wanted to do? Check the sheeps. Sheeps needs clover silage. We should be able to. I don't know. Well, one bale will fit between the two fields. So we will do that. We'll put the lights on because it's getting kind of dark. Not gonna worry about the beacons because we're driving at 40 miles an hour, so we're more of a danger to the people in front of us than we are behind us. Real world, not so much. I mean, you can only do 50 miles an hour here, but we're not doing 50 miles an hour here, so we could have vehicles coming up behind us at 50. And, oh, excuse me, coming through. And then right about here, where is it? There. We hit the national speed limit, which is 60 miles an hour on a road like this. So again, vehicles could catch up to us, except AI vehicles aren't that quick. I do wonder now if vehicle AI on Farm Sim 22 is going to respect, or at least partially emulate, speed limits. So in town they're going to travel slower, and it's going to be an arbitrary thing. I think in the US, town speeds vary, but you're typically looking at 35, 25. And the UK, you're typically looking at 30 or 40 where indicated. So the US tends to be slightly higher speed limit, 25 in school zones. I don't know what UK school zones are because they didn't have that concept so much when I lived there. So it was 30 miles an hour in town, on a road with street lights, unless it was marked otherwise. Okay, grab that. So JCB fills in. Can do the same jobs as the telehandler. I kind of prefer the telehandler. Although before we got the telehandler, we were using the Lindner, Lindtrack. That's a partial base.